So I'm here with Shannon Shuell from Open Doors, and it's a food bank, community garden, community service. Why don't you? I think you know a little bit more about a community hub.
Community hub.
Okay.
Offering twice weekly hot meals, food bank services, free clothing store services, Ontario electricity support service, and then we have some great partners who come and help us out to round out and boost out our programs.
Oh, wonderful. So you were about to give me a spicy little tidbit.
I was just going to mention that an interesting part about our meal programs is we serve dinner on Tuesdays, and we have a great lady named Yasmin. She's our good food coordinator. She gets the donations at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning to decide what she's making by 6 p.m. on Tuesday night. So if you figure this, like 10 a.m. we get the delivery, and she really only has till 1 o'clock when volunteers come to cook. So you really have to know your recipes, know your food, know what goes well together to be able to please feeding 200 people.
I don't know if I could make 200 people dinner with less than 24 hours notice, with the ingredients delivered at 10 a.m. that morning. That seems like an enormous feat.
It is, and she's fantastic at it. I don't think our community has had the same meal twice in 2 years.
That's a pretty big accomplishment in and of itself, regardless of feeding needy people. Just that feat alone.
And we're not talking when you think a community meal, or if you think of a soup kitchen, you think of pastas, you think of soups. These are not the kind of meals that are being served here. Tonight they're having ham and vegetable pilaf. They have a fresh garden salad, homemade vanilla cupcakes with homemade icing. These are not what you would think of as
like the typical tray of prison food that you would imagine
the
Salvation Army hands out at the soup kitchen or what have you. And so it's nice to see that you have a commitment here to high quality meals,
high quality, fresh ingredients, wholesome meals. We want to provide that we have enough protein. We always offer a vegan option every night, so that we can also, if you are not able to digest pork enzymes, we have a vegan option for you. We have rhubarb, we have squash, we have peas, garlic, beans, name it. Wow. Underneath this tarp, we have a harvesting station that has a full water tap and drying area. And then we have a 3 compost system over there, which obviously helps fuel the rest of our soils. We have a gentleman who comes over once a week. He doesn't go back there, and he'll come turn up our compost once a week.
Wow, this is a huge operation. It's actually crazy. I love the community garden attached to the food bank.
It's going back, all of the fresh herbs and everything that we're growing, they go directly back into our programming. So if we have an excess of parsley, we have a dehydrator. We dehydrate it, we put it into our food bank, we put it into our meals.
That's so awesome.
So it's really harvest to table there.
I love me some parsley.
It's an irrigation system as well, so we also don't have to worry about watering. We have a rain sensor, and it self-waters itself.
Oh, I see. I see your little pipes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then our rain sensor's up there.
I didn't know anything like this existed around here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be coming back when your garden is in full bloom, or even if you need any help getting it set up.
We have a fantastic gardener. The Burlington Food Bank has lent us their gardener for the summer.
Okay.
She was our gardener last year as well. She manages 5 of the community gardens in Burlington. And although she is lent to us by the Burlington Food Bank, that doesn't mean that the food necessarily goes to the Burlington Food Bank. It still stays within our programs. Sometimes we've had barbecues of hamburgers and sausages. Sometimes we've had taco nights. We had a braised pork shoulder on a bun night. These are not what you would think of when you think of as a community meal.
I'm hungry just thinking about it. Holy cow. So tell me a little about what brought you to this space and got you involved with Open Doors, and I believe you started it, right? So
I didn't start it.
No?
No. So Open Doors has been in existence for 20 years.
Okay.
It started as there was an organization called the Anti-Poverty Coalition.
Okay.
And they were running in East Burlington out of a townhome. And they were running out of space to be able to provide the needs of the community. So they reached out to St. Christopher's Church to see if we could offer a space to be able to welcome people in, provide some free clothing, maybe a warm cup of coffee, and a conversation. So it started as a once a month effort and has now grown into what we do every week. It was purely volunteer based, and we have had to evolve with that and make sure that we have staff to be able to keep these programs running.
Yeah, that's
from 2024 to 2025, we saw a 47% increase in people attending our meal programs.
Oh.
We also saw a 22% increase in people needing to use our food bank.
Yeah.
Over 50% of the people visiting our food bank are gainfully employed.
It's rough out there. Even with a full-time job, I know a lot of people who just, some weeks it's like, I guess I'm eating nothing but rice and ketchup, right? Mm-hmm. I am very fortunate to not find myself in that position, but I know it's far more common than it was 10 years ago now, because sometimes a full-time job just can't cut it.
That's what we're seeing, yeah. And we're thankful that we're here to be able to provide these interim services to people, but it's also unfortunate that we have to exist.
So where did you get your start in this whole thing?
So I started with Open Doors in 2021. During COVID, we were locked down, so we were not allowed to host people inside. So we were doing takeaway meals, drive-through soup events, and they were looking for a new cook. And I really like cooking. I really like food. So that's how I started. So
you started as a cook?
I started as the Good Food Coordinator here in 2021, and that evolved to be the volunteer coordinator, and now I'm the director of programs.
That's so cool. Mm-hmm. So why don't you just give us a rundown of all the services that you offer here for the community?
So twice weekly hot meals, Tuesdays at 6 o'clock for dinner, and Thursdays at lunch at noon. During that time, we have our free clothing store open, which people can access every 21 days. We have our community market, food bank, open also during that time, and they can access it every 21 days. Our garden is open seasonally, so once we get things going, we have things that are being pre-planted right now for our growing season, and that is open to the community at all times. We offer the Ontario Electricity Support Programs. We do intake appointments for people needing a break on their electricity bills. Okay. They can come to us. We will walk them through the process and get them that discount off of their electricity bill.
Well, I know that's going to be a huge boon, especially after that winter.
It is a sliding scale, income-based support, but there are lots of seniors who just maybe don't know how to navigate through doing an online application, so they can come to us. We have a volunteer who will help walk them through the process and make sure that they're getting all their information in and correct. We are fortunate because we have partners like Support House who are helping bring medical services into us, so that every other week when our programs are going on, they have a mobilized van unit outside. People will come to them for wound care, medication questions, mental health support, whatever they need. They're out in the parking lot in their mobile unit for 3 hours.
So what I'm hearing is that you literally do everything.
No, but we certainly strive to bring as many services as we can into our building while we have community here, because we also know that there are some barriers of people being able to get out of their homes, and if they're already here, we want to be able to help support. So we do regularly sit down and have dinner with our community, sit down and have lunch with our community. We listen to our community to see what the changing needs are. Even in the 5 years that I've been here, I have seen a complete turnaround of community and needs. I would say that previously it was a lot of food needs. We're now seeing a lot of mental health support needed.
Yeah, no kidding. So you were talking about community needs. What does the community need right now? I know a lot of people out there, they want to help, but they're sometimes unsure what the best way to help is. So what is the best thing that people can do for you right now?
I would say also what they can do for themselves. We have this great support in Burlington, Where to Get Help Burlington book, that's updated every 6 months. It's on the city website, it's on our website, it's on the library website. I have found more often than not, carrying copies of this around with me, that when somebody is asking me for money, for food, for clothing, for help, that is a great start. Show them where to get the help, because you don't know what you don't know, and somebody might not know that we exist.
So what was that book again?
Where to Get Help Burlington.
Where to Get Help Burlington. Okay. I'm definitely going to be linking that in the video description for later, so people
I
can
have
find that
copies
resource.
here. I'll make sure that you leave with copies.
Oh yeah, I would
Yep.
love that. Yeah, please. And how about donations? Do you have any specifically strong needs? I know some of your lovely volunteers mentioned to me underwear, fresh underwear.
Yes.
Always bring fresh underwear.
Underwear is one that goes really quickly in our clothing store. We have, as I was mentioning, 264 volunteers in our database. We run everyone through Better Impact, which is a volunteer database. So we post the opportunities for the year, and then it's up to the volunteers to decide what works with their schedule. So I say we need people from this time to this time, and they can come twice a week, 5 times a week, once a month. We have lots of people who have cottages, lots of people who are snowbirds. This way it can work with everyone's schedule.
So, and sorry, what was the platform you used to track
Better
that?
Impact.
Better Impact,
Mhm.
okay. And so if I wanted to say volunteer here, I would look up the Better Impact site.
So
and
directly on our website, opendoorscommunity.ca, we have a direct link that says, I would like to volunteer, and that takes you direct link to our Better Impact site, and it will sign you up. It sends me an email, and then I reach back out and see where you might be interested in volunteering. And then we do sort of like we did today. We do a little tour, we talk about Open Doors, and see what would be the best fit for the volunteer coming in. We have everything from, we have volunteers who like to help us with our grants. We have volunteers who like to do administrative work. We have volunteers who like to do the computer and the food bank. Volunteers who are stocking and receiving the goods when we're getting our deliveries from Food for Life or from Feed Halton. We have volunteers who are picking up our Cobb's bread. We have meal prep. We have clothing store sorting. We have clothing store ladies who are in there who tell you, hey, what are you looking for? I'll find it for you. So, like, name it, we have that volunteer opportunity.
when you told me there was 3 employees here, that's 3 full-time employees, right? I was not expecting the amount of moving parts and just the volume. I wasn't expecting it.
No.
But you have all these facilities that I'm so genuinely impressed by, and you're just using them to help the community, which is fabulous.
We're trying our best, that's for sure.
So, what was something that when you started here, or when you started in this line, something that surprised you, or something that you thought would be different, and then was like, oh,
I've learned to check myself, honestly. Like I said, I was brought up in Burlington, not too far from here. I grew up fortunate that I maybe didn't have to use a food bank in my life, and I didn't realize the need that existed in my own backyard. My neighbors, my kids' school friends, and to see the volume of people that are coming to use our services and that genuinely need it and are blocks away from where I live. That was surprising. And then it's also a checking myself, because you will have people come to you and you might see them pull up in a car that looks better than your car. And you think, wait a second, like, why are they in this car and I'm helping them? You don't know their story. You don't know if they've borrowed the car from a friend or family. You don't know if they rented the car for the day. You don't know if that is the last item that they have to their name and they are living in that car.
yeah, from a previous life, they need to get to work.
That's right. So it's making sure that you're not judging the situation, that you're coming into it with an open mind and realizing that nobody wants to be in the spot where they would like to use the food bank. This is not a choice. This is a need, and however they got to us, we're glad that we're able to help.